Alright guys, I'm RJ from Tele Talks, and today we have a very cool Keep It Simple Stupid featuring...
Hey guys, I'm Ryan.
And you may know him from 60 Cycle, and you may not know him, but he's also in a band called...
Dinosaur Ghost. We've got these masks here that we wear.
Yep, and can you tell me what kind of band it is?
We're a surf rock band, like a kind of non-traditional, but very instrumental surf rock band.
They do a cover of Push It that I very much enjoy. So, that being said, talk us through your gear. First, before we get to the pedal board, let's talk main amps and main guitar.
So this is my main guitar for Dinosaur Ghost. It's a Hallmark Sweeptwing. Hallmark is a company that was...
Makes greeting cards?
They make greeting cards, and then they made this crazy guitar. No, it was a brand that spun off of Mosrite in the 60s.
Okay.
And it only lasted for a couple hundred guitars. I don't know the exact number, but it wasn't very long. And then somewhere in the 90s, a guy named Bob Shade bought the brand, and he started making really faithful reproductions of the Hallmark guitars and making guitars that kind of lean into more of like a Mosrite copy as well. And they're just fantastic. I watched these guitars online for probably like 2 or 3 years, like just sitting there like itching to pull the trigger, putting things in carts, taking it out of the cart. And then one day I was like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to buy this guitar. I've got a band now. I've got a place to use it. And I had to buy it without ever trying one in person because like, it's the internet, and these just don't make it into stores because they don't get made in huge numbers. They're not a big like, commercial brand. And I've just loved it ever since. It's so funky and quirky. The whole like Mosrite feel is completely different from any other guitar out there. It's so unique. I mean, you played it a little bit.
Yeah.
What did you think?
I dig it. Can you tell me a little bit about the pickups? They're pretty crispy.
I don't know like any technical specs for the pickups, but
Okay.
I know they're like trying to be like the original Hallmark pickups, which were a take on a Mosrite sort of concept. So they're not a P90, they're not, you know, this thing or the other thing. They're their own unique pickup, but they are a single coil. They're pretty crispy.
Yeah.
They're pretty quacky, but they also have this like little bit of a thud to them.
Yeah, there's
really
actually
unique.
a surprising amount of low end, I noticed, even from your
The
amp, which
Princeton.
we'll get to here in a second. But it's got a very unique balance, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
On how it... Yeah, because it's not very... It still has some mid, so I don't want to say it's scooped, but like the thud is there, like you were saying, but also I noticed when it plays with like the Ocean's 11, it really accents the drip.
Exactly. Like it's this hard like little punch against that drip. And it's not overly bright. It's not like running like a Strat bridge. It's running like a darker thuddy sort of signal into that bright like surfy reverb kind of emulation. So it kind of evens it out somehow.
Back to the amp real quick. Tell us what we're going through.
So here in, this is the room I record all the stuff for 60 Cycle Hum in. I don't actually use the Princeton for Dinosaur Ghost at all. I didn't even record any of the album with it.
I know you used a twin, right?
I used a half-broken twin reverb that was sitting around a studio to record that album. Live, I use an Acoustic 150, which is...
Is that Steve's?
Technically it says, but I own one too.
Okay.
But I don't use that one.
Steve's his co-host if you guys haven't seen 60 Cycle. But anyways, continue. Sorry.
So anyways, it's a great big 1970s solid state. It's the brand of amps that Albert King used and a bunch of other people used. It's clean. It's kind of a twin reverb killer in a lot of ways. It doesn't break up in any way, but either does a twin reverb. I mean, you got to turn it all the way up, in which case you're like assaulting the neighborhood.
Alright, so let's talk about the board. That's what we're here for.
Sure. So since the beginning of the band, I've been running a DoD 250 as my dirt at the beginning of my board for Dinosaur Ghost. Through the podcast, we have these 50/50 pedals made. It's basically two DoD 250s in one box. I tend to run the left.
Two is better than one, y'all.
Exactly. Well, it gives you two channels, and it gives you a third channel with them stacked.
Yeah.
And a fourth channel with them both off.
Yeah.
No one ever counts that fourth channel. So I usually use the left-hand side of it for a low gain, like
kind of
very,
boost.
like kind of boosty, preampy, light breakup sort of setting. And then if I want to get a little bit extra fuzzy, more aggressive, then I throw on the right-hand side that stacks into that and pushes it with some extra gain for some great big like lead tones. Then up next is the Ocean's 11. I actually use a variety of different reverbs for the band, but this is one that I thought would just be a good standout for the smaller board sort of setup.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Sometimes I use the Venturous by Source Audio. Sometimes I use the Topanga. Sometimes I use well, I haven't used it yet, but I want to use the Dark World in Dinosaur Ghost from Chase Bliss.
Yeah.
So on the Ocean's 11 in this band, I really only used the spring setting. They could have come out with this just with the spring setting.
And you would have bought it?
I would have paid the same amount of money for it.
Gotcha.
100%. It's neat. I didn't show it off when I was playing, but you can you can double click it and it gives you a little sample. Yeah.
Very cool.
So next up, I've got the DD3. I really only use this for one song in the band.
Noisemaker, essentially.
As a noisemaker, I throw the repeats all the way up and I rack the time knob back and forth for crazy like spaceship sounds.
Okay.
Like it's kind of ghosty and spooky sounding, like it'd be a sound effect in like Poltergeist or something like that.
So let's talk about your last pedal on here.
The Monument by Walrus. This is a tremolo. Did I pronounce that right?
Tremolo.
I
do
tremolo. Tremolo.
Tremolo.
This has become my go-to tremolo.
Okay.
It as silly as it sounds, I feel like different trem pedals have different like sounds or feel to them.
Absolutely.
It's not just like a volume modulation. There's some sort of like tonal quality going on.
Absolutely.
Trem to trem.
Me personally, my favorite is Mr. Black's Deluxe Plus.
Mm-hmm.
That trim is amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So this one just gels with my playing. It gives me that like kind of spaghetti western sort of warble to it.
Yes. Very cool.
And it's got all the controls I need. I can go to a harmonic trim if I want to. That's useful for like church playing and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
It just does it. It just makes the sound, and it's a bigger box than most of my other pedals, but it's worth the size compromise for my board to get the sound that I like. And it's hard to explain why it's different than another trim.
It's got that mojo.
But I've sold off most of my other trims recently.
Really? Okay.
Just because this is the one. This is the one that I like.
Very cool. Where do you dwell?
I mean, you can find all the 60 cycle hum stuff on iTunes. We have a podcast, or all the other podcast aggregator apps, whatever you use, Podbean, Stitcher, all that stuff. As far as Dinosaur Ghost goes, you can find us on Bandcamp. Also, the album's on iTunes and various other places that CD Baby puts stuff. I mean, search for us. You'll find Dinosaur Ghost. We've got a couple videos on YouTube.
Very cool.
Yeah, we're going to play a show pretty soon. I mean, this is going to be dated because this is a YouTube video.
Yeah.
So in a week or two, or years ago, whenever you're watching this, we played a show.
It's always the best, right? It's always like you have to be so mindful of that. Anyways, but
you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, all those things too. Both entities, 60 Cycle Hum, and
the
Dinosaur
group.
Ghost.
Join it. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We talk a lot of smack.
There's a lot of smack on that group. It's a SmackDown group.
Yeah, indeed. And that being said, also be sure to check out, I did a video on his channel, and I'll put a link down below. And he's having fun with the HX Stomp by Line 6.
I sure am. We haven't filmed it yet, but I know I'm going to have fun.
We're going to have fun. It's either going to be really cool or really bad. Don't know. We'll find out.
I hope
you'll find out. Check it out.
I hope it's both. Sometimes really bad is really good.
That's right.
It's really entertaining.
Indeed. All right,
bye,
guys.
everybody.
This has been Keep It Simple Stupid. Again, I'm RJ with TeleTalks, and this is lastly.
He's the Keep It Simple side. I'm the stupid side. I'm Ryan. Bye.
See ya.